Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial I'll be showing us how to make this cute dress. So guys, keep watching if this is something you're interested in. So guys, I've gone ahead to just mark out this point, the shoulder, breast points, waist, hips and the length of the dress already. So the next thing I'm going to just do now is to input the measurements in this particular places I have marked out. You get? So guys, so I'm marking out my shoulder point, which is about 7 inches on fold, and then I'm coming down by 10 inches because 10 inches is my breast point. So I now went down also down to 16 inches. That's my waist point. So your hip point about 23 inches and then down to the length of the dress we are making. So I'm just going ahead to fix this on this point that I had already marked down earlier. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do now is to input my neck width measurement. I'm using 3 inches, and then the depth for this dress I'm using 7 inches for the neck depth of this dress. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark this point and then connect from the width down to the neck depth. Guys, I'll be using a V neckline. I have a tutorial up on my channel where I showed us how to draft the different necklines. So if you haven't checked it out, please do that. So I just did a V neckline right now, and then guys, the next thing I am going to do is to put my shoulder measurements. So the shoulder measurements divided into 2, I have 7 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark down these 7 inches that I have for my shoulder measurement as I am doing here, and then I will come down by about 1 inch for the shoulder slope. So I'm coming down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope, and then I'm going to connect it down to the length, to the shoulder width I drew earlier, guys. So we're going to have a slant here. Then I'm going to take my 7 inches armhole depth from this place, from the slant. Now I'm going to take that measurement from there and then connect it using a ruler. So guys, the next thing I'm doing here now is to take my chest line measurement. The point at which I stopped, which is the 7 inches depth from my armhole, I'm making that my chest line measurement. So I'm going to just mark that point and then draw a straight line down, connecting this point, and then label it so that we can understand better, guys. The next thing I'm going to do now is to take half the measurement of this my armhole. So I have about 3.5 inches since I use 7 inches for the armhole depth. So I'm now going to go out by 1 inch, guys. 1 inch by the side, by the both sides. I'm going to go out by 1 inch, and now I'm just going to input my chest line measurement on this spot here. You can add your extra 2-inch allowance on it if you want to, but I did not add 2 inch on this pattern paper. So after inputting that measurement, I'm now going to connect from the top point down to that 1 inch and down to the end of this point where I inputted my chest line measurement. So we have like 3 points here: chest line point, the 1 inch for the half of the armhole, and then the upper part where the armhole measurement started from. So guys, remember this dress has about 2 openings in front, right? So I'm going to try to recreate it now. So I'm going to go up by 1 inch. By 1 inch, I'll mark that point and draw a new line. This is going to serve as our new chest line. So I'm going to slant this line a bit. It's not going to be an exactly straight line. I'm going to make this line come down with a slant, and then I'm going to draw the other end straight. So guys, I'm going to do this in the video and we'll understand better. So guys, this is our new chest line. This is the chest line we will be working with now. This is the new chest line. So guys, this is what it should look like after you're done drafting. So now guys, to create the opening in front, the first opening, we're going to come out by about 1 inch or 1.5 inches. I'm going to mark this point, and then we are going to connect from this new chest line where we just got this 1 inch. I'm going to connect it down to the upper part, that point where the neck width ended. So we're going to connect it to the neck width now, from that 1 inch straight to the neck width. I hope you are understanding this. So now we've created the first line for the first opening. So now to get the second line, what we are going to do now is to make this same kind of casing that we did earlier. So what we will do now is just to go ahead and come down from that neck width on this new line that we just made. I'm going to come down by 2.5 inches, guys, 2.5 inches on the newly created line. And then I'm going to go to the chest line and mark 1 inch on this chest line. So now after marking this point, I'm going to connect from this point down to this point, guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it now so that we can understand. So I'll just draw a straight line from that point I pointed at down to this 1 inch, and now we have our second casing created. Guys, please ignore the line I drew later. There was a mistake, so I just tried to strike it out so that we know that that's not the line we are working with, but this line, this is the line we'll be working with. So guys, this is how it should look like after you've imputed everything at the top. I know it looks sketchy, it looks weird, but we're going to explain better. So now that we've gone ahead to do this, for it to look like a basic top, I'm going to now input our dart measurement. That is half of my nipple to nipple measurement. And for this dart measurement, half of my nipple to nipple is about 3.5 inches. So I'm putting this measurement from the breast point hip line to the half length line, hip line, and down to the length. I'm just going to draw this line straight up down towards the place I want the dart to end, which is at my hip point. So guys, after doing this, I'm going to mark 5 inches. I'm going to mark 5 inches from the waistline. I'm just going to come down by 5 inches. This is where I want that impression to end at. So I'm going to now go out from that waistline. I'm going to go out by about half an inch on both sides, and then try to connect it to the breast point and then down towards the hip points. Guys, please keep watching. So now I'm just going to go ahead and input the measurements for all these points earlier, the chest point, the breast point, the hip point. I'm just going to go ahead and input the measurements and then draw a line connecting each of these points as usual. So now I'm just going to go ahead and connect the points I had marked earlier so that it looks like a basic dress. So from the breast point, hip point, down to the length of the dress. So I'm just going to draw lines connecting these points that I created earlier. So this is what it looks like now. It looks like a dress. So the next thing we are going to do now is cut out on these lines and remove the excess by the side. So guys, for this chest line, we are cutting across on the new chest line we created earlier. So we'll just cut and then connect it upward towards the armhole. so that we can now work with the remaining fabric that is needed. So that's exactly what is going on here. And I'm also going to say we should be careful when we are cutting out, so we don't cut on a point that is actually needed, and we should try to leave about half an inch up on the side also of this fabric that we'll be using for the dress when we eventually want to make the dress. So guys, I'm going to make another video showing us how the dress looks like when I was done creating the magic. And also I got inspiration from someone else's channel, I think Osereme. She made a video and I decided to try it out, and then it came out really nice. So guys, you can also check her channel to see how this dress was done. So guys, you can see it looks like a basic dress now after I had gone ahead to take out all of the excess from it. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is to cut out that neck, those designs, those things in front. So now I'm just going to be careful while doing this. I'm going to split this chest line open. So now the chest line is separated from the body of the dress, and I'm going to cut across this line so we can have that opening on the dress. So I'm just going to go ahead now and cut it out carefully so I don't get to make another mistake like I did earlier. So after cutting this part out, I'm going to cut out the other line. Remember, there is an opening in front, so I'm going to just go ahead and cut out the other line that I created earlier. So that's exactly what I am doing now in this part. So after this is done, the next thing I am going to have is this opening with the V, and then the sides of this cutting. You get the sides where I cut out. This is how it's going to look like when you have cut out all those parts. And now we have that M look. You can see how it looks now. We have that M that is in front of the dress. So now the next thing we are going to do, so this can actually come out really nice when you're cutting with a fabric. Let's try to make the M a different color, probably an Ankara or a different crepe material, so that it can come out actually very nice. And then we're going to attach this to a dress, like to the body of the dress. We will now join these ends down to the body of the dress, and for the back, it's like the basic back of the dress, like normal neckline for the back of this dress. So I'm doing a tutorial on just the front part of this dress. I hope you found this interesting. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next tutorial.